Hi, I'm Greg Barto, and today I'm here with Eric Kuhn and Brent Weinstein from UTA, United Talent Agency, down in Los Angeles. Brent, you are the head of digital media at UTA. Can you speak a little bit as to what you do there?
Sure. UTA, we're one of the largest talent agencies in the world. We have thousands of clients in film, television, music, and other entertainment categories. I run our digital practice. Our digital media group has agents focusing on social media, such as Eric, who you'll hear from in a second, video games, online entertainment, and then we do a lot of consulting work for companies both inside and outside of the digital media space.
You're actually the first talent agency in Los Angeles, or the world, I guess, to have a department specifically dedicated to digital content as well, right?
Yeah, we started our digital media practice in 2003, and we specifically started a focus on original online entertainment back in 2006. And it's turned into a really fantastic business, and with some things that are happening in the marketplace right now, we think it's going to get even better.
Speaking of the marketplace, YouTube is a company up here where they are becoming every day closer to entertainment, and I think what they've done recently, their $100 million investment in branded channels specifically. What are you doing to get clients or content onto the YouTube channels?
So we've worked with people who have been utilizing the YouTube platform for years. We've represented Lucas Cruikshank, who's the popular Fred character on YouTube, and we helped turn that character into a franchise that's now spanning films and television shows. We've worked with Smosh, we've worked with College Humor. Our agency's worked with a number of people that have really taken advantage of that platform. I think with YouTube's new investment in original programming, there's really a chance for it all to go to the next level. I think the one thing that's been missing from the digital media space is one or more really big financiers. In the film world, studios like Warner Brothers and Universal, they take financial risk on what they think are projects that have franchise potential. Same thing in the television world. And that's how those things get going, and then ultimately they're supported by paying customers or by advertisers. That's always been something that's missing from the internet, was people who was willing to take that initial risk in order to kickstart amazing content creation.
So YouTube is really trying to bring in original content, but not just in the long form, like traditional content that we watch primetime television on, from 7 to 11 o'clock at night on NBC. Because they're not bringing in so much of that, are we going to see major successes in that space? Or first off, what would be defined as a success on YouTube?
Well, I think for YouTube, it's probably a lot of things. Certainly, I think they want to generate as much money as possible. They want to increase the number of people that go to YouTube, the number of people that upload videos to YouTube. I think they want to increase what they would call session length, the amount of time that people spent watching videos on the site. I think for the creators, I think it's also an opportunity for them to be successful financially and creatively. I think that the big opportunity is in recognizing that YouTube and really the internet is just a very different platform from film or television. So films are generally around 2 hours long. TV shows, sometimes they're an hour, sometimes they're a half hour. On Adult Swim, there's things that are just 11 or 12 minutes. And YouTube is as distinct of a platform from television as television is from film. And I think that the people that understand that and that are figuring out how to create content specifically for that platform are going to be well positioned to be very successful. If you look at a company like Machinima, who does 1 billion video views a month, it's because they've figured out exactly what it means to create content for the platform, how to program to the audience, how to market to it. And I think a lot of these YouTube channels are, quite frankly, just going to be doing everything they can to follow Machinima's lead as we try to figure out what this ecosystem looks like.
So now, do you think there are enough viewers to generate profit in that space?
There's definitely enough viewers. There's more people watching mini YouTube videos than there are watching mini cable channels. And you've heard of some of them like Machinima and Smosh and Fred. And there's a lot you haven't heard of that still get massive audiences. There's a young girl who goes by the sort of screen name of MacBarbie07, who every time she uploads a video to YouTube, it gets 500,000 views, right? There's some cable networks that would love to get those types of ratings, and they spend significantly more money and resources on their programming than this girl Bethany does creating videos at home. And she's just one young girl who for whatever it's worth, I think has the chance to be a real star. So I think that there definitely is the audience. The audience needs to come together with the financing. It needs to come together with the advertising in order to make it all really work consistently, but all the elements are there.
So can you also talk a little bit about Young Hollywood?
We were involved in setting up a number of YouTube's original channels that have been announced. Young Hollywood is one that's launched already. It launched in January. It's already racked up millions and millions of views. As importantly, it's already received support from one of the biggest advertisers on the planet, Unilever. It's been documented, so unfortunately this isn't an exclusive, but Unilever bought out all of the advertising inventory for a period of time on this Young Hollywood network. Young Hollywood's working really closely with Unilever to integrate a number of their brands into the programming, and that's a great example of how brands and content creators in YouTube can come together to generate a lot of success.
And they'll also be licensing content. Do you think there will be DVDs coming out of this? The old models of television where they're on network and then they go to DVD has been so successful for studios until now. Is that a model that will transition?
I think so. I think just like in television, there's some things that are more franchisable than others. So you see big hit shows on the Fox network or on NBC, and then you see advertisements by season 1 on DVD, right? You see that less for things from like the Food Network, for example, right? So it just depends on how franchisable the content is. We are involved with another channel that's launching later this year called Awesomeness TV, which is a channel designed really for a teen audience. It's really designed to target sort of the portion of Nickelodeon and Disney's audiences that watch shows like Hannah Montana and iCarly, but it's going to be all on YouTube. So it's essentially a new teen network launching on the internet. They're going to be creating comedy and drama and non-scripted programming, the types of things that are more traditionally franchisable. So I absolutely think there's going to be opportunities to sell things internationally, to license formats, to put things on DVD, to sell things through VOD or iTunes. For the right content, and if done well, I think that there's a number of opportunities to generate revenue.
All right, great. So Eric, you are the head of social media at UTA. Can you talk briefly about what is you do?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we help all of our traditional writers, directors, actors, producers become social. And we like to say we like to take social clients and make them big, and big clients and make them social. And we act as the bridge kind of between the world up here in San Francisco and Silicon Valley and the tech world and the world in Hollywood, and be that bridge. And then we also provide sort of strategic advisory digital services to tons of different companies, from Fortune 500 companies all the way actually down to small startups, and we help them grow and develop.
So when a client tweets something out that can get them in trouble, is that their fault, or who does the blame lie on at that point?
Well, my phone definitely rings.
Any examples you could share?
No. I mean, I think clients now know, anything that they say on social media is exactly as if they were doing it on CNN or, on a big interview on the red carpet or whatever it may be. And so I think we don't see that many mistakes come out.
I understand.
I can tell you, every client certainly reads their tweets and everything that's coming in, and so they see what people are saying.
So what are the most popular platforms that they use? I'm sure they use Twitter, Facebook. Are there others?
Yeah, sure. I mean, almost all the celebrities are on Twitter. Twitter's done such a fantastic job of reaching out to stars and really sort of having the stars also embrace the platform, and they love it, and the feedback is great, and they, it's just a tremendous platform, as everybody knows. Facebook also, especially with Facebook Subscribe now, a lot of our artists are really getting onto Facebook Subscribe and loving it, because it's just, it's similar to Twitter. You're seeing the rise of a lot of video apps, right, like Vidi and Tout. We actually did a deal for Bow Wow to become the creative advisor to Tout. And so, video is definitely another one of these services. And then you're seeing some sort of other services like Klout really play a role in a lot of things, and we monitor all of our celebrities' Klout Scores, and it's a very sort of important thing that we look at, because we really want to have true reach. And so, a lot of celebrities will come into my office and say, okay, have you seen my Klout Score yet? And so it's a very so Klout is another company that we're watching carefully.
And studios or producers, they will use that information as well to when deciding whether or not to cast somebody.
Absolutely. We're hearing more and more that directors and casting producers and everyone are really looking at people's social graphs when taking into account who should be cast into certain roles, and the trajectory is only going up, and you're really beginning to hear it now, and they're going to look at your social reach and your Klout Score and your influence and and to be able to promote these films.
That's really interesting, because they're using social media for exposure, but people are also using it to measure a person's worth. That sounds bad, but I mean financial worth, particularly in entertainment. Like what is somebody worth in a particular role? And there's also, but they also use social media for a client's film. You were telling me that. Crimson Hexagon, that's a company?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I think a lot of times when people talk about celebrities and social media, they talk about talking, right? Well, so many people come in and they go, well, why am I going to tweet about tweeting out a ham sandwich, right? And we say, look, it's not all about talking. It's actually about listening, right? It's about listening to the conversation that's happening out there. So we've partnered and represent a company called Crimson Hexagon, which is the leading social media analytics company. It's based out of Harvard, and we love this company. They have access to the Twitter fire hose, and what they do is that they listen to the conversations that are happening around really anything, and so we use it for film and TV. And so we're able to do tracking and see sentiment and volume of conversation around different films way before traditional tracking in Hollywood comes on. And so we're able to adjust trailers if need be. We're able to see the effect of a trailer and the effect of an actor, and and so forth. And so we're really using this tool across the entire agency to be able to listen to the conversation.
Is there a particular example you could use of what exactly is going on?
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of examples. And I would give you two, I think. The first is that we're finding that the volume of conversation has a direct impact on an opening weekend box office. And so a film with more volume, more tweets, will have a better impact at the box office than a film with less tweets. But then once the movie opens, sentiment matters, right? Positive, negative, neutral. And it's fascinating to see the charts of Bridesmaids, as an example, as a film whose positive sentiment had the exact same, squiggle on the chart as the box office. And you saw when Taylor Swift sent out a tweet, the sentiment of the positive sentiment went up like 22%, and it had an effect on the box office. And so we're really sort of seeing a direct correlation between positive sentiment and the box office.
It's really fascinating how entertainment is bringing in so much technology and using it to do a lot of measuring, and particularly exposure.
And because of that, you're seeing more and more films release their trailers on Facebook, right? Or have, because instead of, let's say, debuting it on the Super Bowl, right? Because it has more of an effect if you just release it on Facebook.
Thanks so much for coming up and doing this today, guys. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us up at TechCrunch, and we're excited about TechCrunch TV.
Awesome.
Normally we wear suits and ties to work every day, but I think we're gonna wear that now.
You guys should.
We need
this is the way to do it.
We're gonna roll into the office with that.
You guys
It'll be great.
You guys do it right up here.